Howdy, y'all. Caleb here. Today we're looking at monstrous traits for our monsters. We got 3 monstrous traits in the last update, the Scourge of Gyran update. I'm so glad we have some monstrous traits now. We had some great monstrous traits back in last edition, I guess, and we've kind of been missing those. So, Seraphon is known for its monsters. We've got these big giant T-Rexes, we've got Stegodons, we've got Engines of the Gods, we've got Bastildons. Lots of cool monsters in our army. Also, Troglodons. Did I get them all? I think so. So, these monster traits have been added, and we can give these to any monster. It doesn't have to be a hero monster, it can be any monster. That's pretty cool because I think some of these will go on monsters that aren't necessarily heroes, while some are probably more focused towards heroes. So, let's look at these. First one up is Titan of the Land. This is a passive. This war beast has absorbed so much of its environment's latent magic that it has become a locus of the natural energies of the mortal realms. The effect is this unit counts as a terrain piece for the purpose of picking targets for the Realm Shaper Engine's Power Unleashed ability. Do not inflict any mortal damage on this unit as part of that ability. This was pretty interesting, kind of a little creative. So it's going to have, I think, maybe a little bit of use. If you are big on the Realm Shaper engine, I'm going to be honest, there's lots of games where I just don't even deploy it. If you've got Croak or Slann in your list, or maybe a small wizard you're just kind of leaving behind next to the Realm Shaper engine to do mortal wounds, by all means, this one might be a good monster trace to take. I find in most lists, if you're playing like a highly competitive game, a lot of people are just staying away from terrain entirely. If you can get your opponent, if they're dropping first, they drop their terrain piece a little aggressively, and then you can get your Realm Shaper within 24 inches of their terrain piece. Oh, absolutely, the Realm Shaper engine is going to make up its points, which is 0. It's going to make up its footprint on the board. Sometimes that's annoying, just having it on the board in the way. But what this ability does, this monstrous trait, is it's going to turn, let's say, let's put it on a Carnosaur. It's going to turn your Carnosaur into a terrain piece that can be blown up by the Realm Shaper engine. So if any enemies are within 3 inches of it, they'll take D3 mortal wounds on a 3-up. So that's good, but you need a monster that's going to be in combat, in the hero phase, in your hero phase, and still be alive. So it's probably not going to be something like a Stegodon. They're just not alive long enough. An Engine of the Gods, you're not really getting in combat that much. A Bastildon with Solar Engine, you're not really doing that either. I think the good targets for this are going to be your Bastildon with Arc of Sotek, your Snake's Bastildon. That thing is always in combat, generally. You want it up in the mix. It's going to stick around for a while in combat. And then if you put this on there, in your hero phase, it's probably still going to be alive, and you'll be able to do some mortal wounds. With that doing D3 mortal wounds to a unit, it's the Bastildon's already, Rampage is doing mortal wounds, and then it's going to throw a bunch of mortal wounds at it in combat. So I think that can kind of help buff up or stack up some mortal wounds on a target next to that Bastildon. Maybe a Troglodon would also be a good pick for this. If you play your Troglodon to where you're trying to get that -1 to hit Rampage in combat, then that might be a good target for this as well. So I think probably those 2 are the ones that you're wanting. Your Carnosaur is generally either going to kill like a smaller screen or get killed by some other hammer. It doesn't generally stick around that long for that. All right, let's go to the one at the bottom left here, Ancient Defender. This one adds 1 to hit rolls for attacks made by this unit's companion weapons. Okay, so I like this one. This one's a good one. With the change to all-out attack that's coming in the next GHB, where all-out attack has a penalty to it, still gives you +1 to hit, but it's also going to give you -1 to save. This is a way to get around that. So you'll always be +1 to hit for the companion weapons, which for most of our stuff is the important things. All of our monsters, the companion weapons are the things that are going to do well. What I don't think I'd put this on is any of the Bastildons. It would go well on like a Stegodon, because a Stegodon's hitting on 4s. It really wants to be hitting on 3s to do any type of damage whatsoever. And so it will do a little bit better on that. The Stegodon Chief would be fine with this. A Carnosaur. The Carnosaur's big attacks, its jaws and its claws are both companion weapons, and so it's going to want that +1 to hit. So I think it'd go well there. Troglodon, don't even bother with it. Its companion weapons just aren't worth it. Engine of the Gods, same boat as Stegodon, so it helps it, but it's not really a combat monster. So a good one, not bad. I thought the one I think that I'm most excited about here is the one on the top right, Armour Cruncher. This one's in any combat phase. The sheer heft and strength of this beast sees its crush and crumple well-protected foes in their own armor before it even gets around to tearing into them with tooth, horn, and claw. Very cool. So, you declare an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Now, this is in any combat phase. So, anybody it's in combat phase with, my turn or your turn. Effect is you roll a dice. If the roll equals or exceeds the target's save characteristic, subtract 1 from save rolls for the target for the rest of the turn. Whew. Yes, I like this. This is a very good monster trait. I like this one a lot. It does require a dice roll. Against some of the best targets, it's going to be a 3-up. You know, if they have a 3-up save is really what you're trying to get through here. But still, it's just sheer ability is very good. Now, notice that it says for the rest of the turn. So this is any combat phase. So you're doing your abilities at the start of the combat phases before anybody's attacked. This is a rampage. Now, I don't know of anything that says you can't use 2 rampages. As long as they're named something differently, then you can use those on the same monster. So you could use, let's say, a Bastiodon with Arc of Sotek, its Rampage and this one at the same time. Rampage isn't a core keyword, so you can use both of those. So at the start of the combat phase, you could potentially reduce a save by 1. That's huge. That's huge. I mean, if you're thinking about like other armies that do this, they have a spell for this that they have to get in range it for. Like our Spawn of Chotek, which is terrible, has to hit and do damage with a 1-shot attack. So this is a great ability. Imagine comboing this up with Purple Sun and Armour Cruncher. Now they're at -2 save. Whew. Oh, so good. And with All-Out Defense being nerfed to where it's only against 1 incoming attack, 1 unit that's attacking, you could combo this stuff up so well. So imagine you're charging in a monster, doesn't even matter what monster, whatever monster has Armour Cruncher on it, and then charging also in something else, something that's your hammer. Croxagore, Agrodons, Raptidons, something that's going to be doing all the damage. Now you've got a -1 to their save, and it's just a massive amount of extra damage that you're going to be getting through. If you're crazy, you could add in a Spawn of Chotek if you just want to go for the memes and get them down to, -3 to their save. Just be awesome when it goes off. A couple of dice rolls involved there, but man, when that goes off, that is a lot of fun. So I like Armour Cruncher. That is going to be on a monster in every single one of my lists. It's got to be. It's just so good. Put it on that combat monster. Either your Bastiodon with Arc of Sotek or your Carnosaur. I think that's who you're looking to put this on. Maybe a Troglodon if you're pushing the Troglodon into combat with things. Will help keep your other stuff alive a little bit longer. But what a great monster trait. I'm loving Armour Cruncher. So that one's a lot of fun. Let me know what you guys think. What are you putting Armour Cruncher on? Or are you going with one of the other ones? A little bit more consistency with Ancient Defender, or a little bit of Mortal Wound spam with Titan of the Lands? All right, fellas. See you all next time.